Okay. Good evening. Okay, so for this particular assignment, which is our recorded counseling assignment, I have Cindy here. Cindy is a Hispanic female that is 31 years old. She is a woman seeking counseling to navigate the challenges of balancing work, family, and cultural expectations. So before we jump into the therapeutic session, I'm going to allow Cindy to just provide a little bit of background as to why she is here for therapy.
Yes. So I'm seeking therapy just so that I could be able to. Been really stressed out with work lately. It's been very overwhelming, and I had some coworker leave, and I had to take on some responsibilities. So that's been overwhelming, and also dealing with some personal issues with conflicts with my family, and just being able to connect with them has been a little bit difficult lately, because apart from work I also am doing school, so I just don't have a lot of time. And at least with my family, specifically my mom, she feels like I'm distancing myself from her, but it's not that. And I just feel like I don't think she understands just the pressure that I'm in, and she takes it very personal, and that I don't care for her. But I still really love her, so I'm having a little bit of a conflict with that, with just trying to balance out work, school, but also I guess my like still trying to connect and be present with my family, with my mom, which can be a little bit difficult. So yeah, so just dealing with all that, which is a lot.
No, it is. And thank you for providing a lot of that background. I think you are dealing with a lot, having to be a student, having to be an employee, and having to also, be present for your family, juggling all of those different, hats, and always having to take one off and put another one on and take one off and put another one on. I feel like it is difficult, especially when you may feel as if you're lacking in certain areas. And your family also has concerns about you not being present and not being able to fully participate in the relationships and show up for them. I think that.
Yeah, I feel a lot of guilt. I think and I'm not doing anything, I guess, like wrong, but I just feel guilty sometimes about not being, at least for my mom, sake. She
Mhm.
feels like I've isolated her, and it's not that. So I feel a lot of like guilt on like not being, I guess, a good daughter. And so I just feel a little bit of, guilt about that.
Okay, so let's focus on let's say your stress reduction. How do you think you how do you think you cope with the amount of stress that you're under presently? What are some coping
Um,
mechanisms that you have in place?
I guess I'm not really coping it that well either. I just kind of push it down, and then it kind of festers. And then when it gets really too much, I kind of snap. Um, and I
Mm.
and that's something that I'm trying to work on, is not letting that pushing my feelings, or being a little bit more vocal, I guess, just because I hide it a lot of the times. And then I feel like I get really I get really frustrated and easily irritated. I'm very
Mhm.
like irritable, and then I feel like I just blow up. So I don't I try to de-stressing by like, trying to watch some TV. I try to read, but I feel like I haven't been able to focus either. I think I have a little bit of trouble focusing, maybe because I'm just so overwhelmed with everything. I
Mhm.
feel a lot of brain fog. So it's kind of a little bit hard for me to kind of focus on one thing. I feel like I need to constantly be doing other things. And even though I'm trying to de-stress and trying to like, calm and try to, maybe watch something like that I used to find very, calming or joyful. now
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I can't really focus on like one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what to do, I guess, with myself. I'm just always like, I can't really sit still kind of thing. And so that's been a little bit difficult. So I don't think I've been coping it very well as of right now. So that's why, yeah, I definitely would love to hear some of your maybe insight and a little bit of help on how I
Yeah.
can be able to better cope.
So, do you think carving out time for yourself would be more helpful, or having a structured schedule to where you know, like, okay, maybe in the mornings I have a 15 to 20-minute routine of maybe meditating or reading the Bible or just even journaling or just time for yourself, focusing on self care and putting, that energy back into yourself that you put it back into other people?
Yeah, I think that would be very helpful, I guess, to kind of center myself. I feel like I'm always my mind is going 1,000 miles per hour and I'm
Mhm.
always on the go. And to be honest, I feel like a lot of the times I don't really think about myself or prioritize myself. I'm always prioritizing, others. So I think that would be a really great way to kind of center myself and kind of like focus, like I guess just and especially, now that you mentioned, I think that's a really good way in the mornings to kind of like get myself in the right, headspace of
Mhm.
like, okay, you're gonna, um, like, I guess, there's gonna be things that are gonna happen during the day, but like, I'm gonna be okay kind of thing. And I feel like that would put me in the right headspace, I think, to be able
Mhm.
to kind of like handle situations that come up a little bit better than like snapping or act like, being irritable or angry or, so yeah, I
Yeah,
think that would
I
be really helpful.
definitely think if you could practice maybe having a digital schedule or digital planner or practice time blocking, that way you know that there is a certain time every single day that you're putting that time into yourself and you're focusing on yourself. That way you have that energy to show up for other people in your life as well. And I think also being okay with the fact that the way that you show up for other people, it may not be to their standards, and that's okay because you also have to show up for yourself and however that looks. I know a lot of time our family members they have expectations, and I think a lot of times when we're not meeting their expectations, there's this weight on our shoulders of not, being the person that they want us to be. But I think that it's really important for us to be the person that we want to be, and a lot of times that may mean not being able to fulfill the requirements that they have for us. And that's okay. As long as you know that you're doing your best, as long as you are filling your cup and you're also taking time to fill their cup. But you can't fill their cup without filling your cup first.
Yeah, that's definitely something that that really resonates with me. I feel like um I feel like I give, and I think that that would be a really great way for me to kind of feel like I deserve a little bit of time and for myself as well. And I think that's very true.
Yeah.
Um, and like you said, I can only do so much. I feel like a lot of the times I feel like I'm not doing enough. So I
Hmm.
feel like just being like, I guess, kind to myself that I am
Yeah.
doing the best that I can. Yeah.
Exactly. And I know you mentioned that your mom does feel a little left out, or she does feel as if you're not meeting her expectations. Have you tried to communicate with your mother and let her know that it's not that you don't want to meet those expectations, but in order for you to show up fully for yourself and to be as functional in your life as possible, you have to have boundaries on how much, maybe how much time you can spend with your family, or maybe like in the past, if you guys had certain, cultural traditions and maybe you're not as active now, that you just don't have that time. And I think, maybe if you were to communicate with her, she would understand that it's not something that you're doing on purpose. It's not that you don't value your culture. It's not that you don't value the traditions that you guys have built. But sometimes, in life, when you're trying to reach your goal or when your life is a little bit more busier, you do have to prioritize.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe I would have to look at a different way of talking to her. Maybe the way I took it before maybe wasn't the right way. I have mentioned it before, but I just I don't feel like she's listening to me, and then we
Mhm.
kind of get in a fight, because all she feels is that I don't love her, and I let her know, like, it's not that, I'm just really busy, and I wanna spend time with you, but I just, I think also because a lot of the times before, I used to, when she would tell me something, I would drop everything, and then,
Mhm.
I would just, help her with whatever she needed. And of course, I will still like help her. She's my mom, but I feel like I've put myself and my, like, I guess, career on hold just because I
Mhm.
needed to. There was some family situation or other things that I had to like help out with, but now I feel like it's my time. I think that's a little bit difficult, is that I feel a little bit selfish, but at the same time, I'm just like, well, it's my time to focus on myself, on my career, on, what I need to do. Um, so I mean, I've tried to sometime, and I feel like we kind of end up bickering, but I'll try to, maybe there's just like another way I need to bring it about,
Mhm.
talking about it. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's something I need to, I guess, better communication with my mom would be something I need to really work on.
Mhm. And you mentioned that you have new responsibilities at work. So are these responsibilities that you are reluctant to take on? They were just kind of dropped on your plate, or are they responsibilities that you have been able to accommodate and willing to, take on?
They were just kind of dropped on me, and it's very hard for me to be confrontational and say like, "Hey, actually, I can't
Hmm.
at the moment. I'm pretty full,
Hmm.
with all the responsibilities that I already have to do." So it was just kind of like, I was asked, and I guess I could have vocalized at that moment no, but I
Hmm.
just didn't want to disappoint my, I guess, supervisor, or be confrontational, say no. So I said yes, and so it's just trying to balance out the extra amount of work, and I'm not being compensated for it either. So I think that's what my frustration is that I'm taking on more responsibility, more work apart from doing my own work, and
Hmm.
I don't feel I'm being appreciated. I'm just taking advantage of. So I think that's a little bit hard for me as well.
Yes. So I think one of the important things that I would like for you to focus on is being able to build boundaries on not only your time, but having access to you as well, like your family and your friends having access to you, but also building boundaries on learning how to communicate with people that, although, yes, I would love to help you out in this area, I have to, politely decline. Like, I don't have room enough to do this. And, if this opportunity comes again, I would love to take this on. But for right now, it's probably something that I don't think I would be the best fit for. And just kind of advocating for yourself. So becoming your biggest advocator is establishing some of those boundaries. Like with your mother, with letting her know that, yes, I would love to spend more time with you, but right now I really don't have the time for that. And in the future, of course, I'm sure, like once I finish school and, I'll have more time to spend with you. But right now, I don't have that time. And it's also letting your boss know, like, yes, I would love to take on this project, but maybe, another employee, Ashley, would be really good to take on this project right now. She's really, itching for um, a new opportunity to showcase whatever abilities she's really good at. But advocating that you just cannot, you're not in the right, I would say you don't have the resources or the mental capacity in this moment to be more accommodating. I think, a lot of times we're so used to wanting to appease like our boss, appease our family, appease our friends, that we lack those boundaries. But in the end, those boundaries are a lot of times much needed just so we can function and show up for fully for ourselves. And then that allows us to show up for others. But I think when you're kind of showing up in a place of lack in every single area of your life, it makes it really difficult to do that.
Yeah, and that's something that I've been, struggling with for a very long time. I just been
Mhm.
kind of like a yes person, even
Mhm.
though I'm like no, but it's just very hard for me to say the no, and then I feel like I'm kicking myself afterwards. So yeah, that's something that I definitely Thank you so much for that insight. I think that really helps me to kind of, I guess, be a little bit more kind to myself.
Yeah.
Setting those boundaries were also, I mean, I'll definitely work on that. It's going to be hard, but I ultimately, I know that that's what's best.
Yeah. So the homework that I want to provide for you is um, when someone asks you over the week, I know your friends and family members, they will ask you to do things that you're uncomfortable with doing, or right now you just don't have the capacity to do it. So I want you to draft 2 or 3 like short sentences that can just say like, "Hey, I would love to do this, but right now I don't have the mental capacity to do it." And anytime anyone asks you right now to do something that you don't have the mental capacity for, or you just don't want to do it, you can just kind of tell them those 2 sentences and stand firm on those boundaries. And next time we see each other, we can kind of go over and discuss and see how that went.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I think a lot of the times I also struggle with like how to say it because in my head, I
Mm-hmm.
always have like these inner monologues or conversations and I'm like, no, you know what I mean? And it sounds
Mm-hmm.
all good in my head, but once I'm like faced in the situation or in front of the person, I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
forget everything and I just feel really bad and I just get really flustered and nervous about the confrontation. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's very hard for me to communicate what I actually want or what I, you know what I mean, just to be like, no. So I think maybe writing down and just having that kind of with me would be good
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said, when I get put in those positions of like where I have to confront or like deny, like, a request, I just, the words don't come out, the right words don't come out of my mouth. So on the spot, yeah. So
So hopefully we can make some progress in that area to where you'll be able to decline invitations to do things that you just don't have the time for, or to just do things that don't align with your current schedule. And then that will give you more time for yourself. It'll give you better time management. It'll also give you, stress reduction. You won't be so stressed out trying to juggle all of these different things that majority of the time probably you could have, turned down. So definitely next time I see you, I want to talk a little bit more about that. So thank you, Cindy, and I will see you in our next session.
thank you so much. I appreciate talking to you. This was really helpful.
You're welcome.